Hello and welcome to this construction domain session as part of the buildingSMART International Standards Summit, Lillinstrom 2023. Thank you for joining. My name is Laura and I will be your moderator today. Today's session is titled Use Case Management. The speaker for this session are Endo and Konstantinos Kessoudis. The session is scheduled to last 90 minutes, including time for question at the end. The session is being recorded and will be made available in the replay section of this event as soon as possible. Before I hand over to the speakers, I would like to remind you that this is a hybrid event. For online attendees, your microphone will remain muted for the duration of this session. If you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please use the chat box in the control panel. For the attendee here in the room, please keep the background noise to a minimum. And if you wish to make comment or ask a question, please raise your hand and use a microphone. I would also like to bring to your attention that buildingSMART is committed to ensuring that participation in the development of standards is unrestricted and the process for their adoption is transparent, and standards that are developed do not favor any particular provider and are open, non-binding and accessible to all. Please take note of our antitrust code of conduct. Now I would like to hand over to Ken.
Hi. So can I start? Yeah. So thank you for joining the session. I'm Ken Endo. Maybe many of you know me, and then I know I guess half of you. So anyhow, today's session is very small session. So if you have any question, you can ask. But anyhow, I'll present and later on we'll have the QA time. So let's start. Oh, so can I? Okay, yeah. So today's topic is how to create openBIM ecosystem. So I guess many of you know the openBIM and then also the ecosystem. So and then I guess all of you set some goal to achieve this kind of the environment in your country or the larger the society or the country level. But anyhow, today as the BIM IT manager of the private company, construction company Kajima, I want to present my opinion how to create an openBIM ecosystem. So yeah, I'm the chairman of construction domain, and then I belong to Kajima Corporation. So today's purpose are those. So firstly, you have many information already. You're packed with the information your head is. But anyhow, we want to set some the same starting point. So firstly, clarify how to create openBIM ecosystem, and then to do that, where we are now is very important. And then my question is, we are now in the BIM maturity level, IBIM. And the next question, what is the difference between level 2 and level 3? And the next, what's next in level 4? And how to get into level 4? What is your strategy? Is the scenario today I'll trace. But anyhow, can I ask one question here? Someone who know what the level 4 BIM is? Please raise your hand. Oh, no one. Oh, gee, you're very keen. It's trap, but anyhow, you're very keen. So maybe I ask you someone who know the level 3 BIM, raise your hand, and then how about your response? You think so? Okay, thank you very much. So let's go to the next slide. So this chart, maybe you, all of you, that saw this chart at least one time. And then this shape, you remember, it's wedge shape. And then the firstly, the left-hand side, the level 0, 1, 2, 3. And then, yeah, there's no level 4 defined in this chart. So the people, including me, that knows about level 2 BIM, level 3 BIM, but not exactly we understand the difference is. So this chart is a very old one, and then cited from some site. It's from Akka software. But anyhow, from left-hand side, the CAD comes first, and level 0 BIM. So it means from paper to some electrics, the manage some document is the level 0. And the next level 1 is 2D and 3D, but not BIM. And the next one is level 2. And then there comes the BIMs. And then finally, the level 3 is named iBIM. So many of you, I guess, know around here, you graduated level 1 already, and then level 2, and some advanced company try to go into level 3 is the situation, I understand. So, and then another keyword I want to check is these words. So the level 0 is okay. Level 1 models, objects. And then level 2, there's a collaboration. So the target of this level will be a collaboration. And the level 3's target is integrated. So we are now around here. And then from collaboration BIM to integrated BIM is the situation. And the next, interoperable data. It is defined here, but let's go next. So this one is the same chart, but added some figure under this wedge chart. And then left-hand side, paper and some file-based document management under the level 2 BIM here. So if you create some ArchiCAD or Revit file, and then give it to store it on CDE, this kind of file-based CDE, it's under the level 2 BIM. And then level 3 BIM is very new, but I guess here we know getting much information about it. We wanna take some particle of data by using IDS or some CDE which can connect to IoT or like that kind of thing. So what's the difference in between 2 and 3 is here it's the file base, and then this side is data based data accessing. It's a big differences. And then the upper side, the UK mandatory maturity model, it is also defined in UK as UK maturity model, and then very famous the view, and then Richard define this chart on 2008, and then from 2011, UK adopt this chart, and then make BIM mandates, and then their goal was 2016. So from the border is the 2016, and then level 2 and level 3 is the now I guess the UK accomplished this level 2. So next one, BIM maturity level. The same chart, but there's the timeline. And then I found the chart on the web. And then what's on it is BIM level 3. It starts from 2020. So previous slide, the 2016 was the goal of UK for level 2. And then now the 2023. So it means that we are already in this BIM level 3. So now that we should think about the IBIM era is the facing problem. And the next is I want to think about adding level 4 BIM here today. So what's next level 4 is today's question. And then the answer is, my answer is this one. The level 0, 1, 2, 3 is, I already explained. And level 4, I define it for the full optimization BIM. So it means from paper to electricity, and here the file based. And then the level 2, the collaboration is achieved using the CDE. And the next full integration, it means the CDE has OpenCD API, and then API via API, the many CDE can communicate each other. And the next one is full optimization. Can you imagine? Imagine. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so integration is the first step, is my feeling. But optimization, it works very smoothly. And then if you use those ecosystem, it works very smoothly and you can get information, no hassle, no waiting time. But still, as I'm the IT manager, I hear the complaint from the construction sites. Slow, time-consuming, 30 minutes to download BIM file like this. And then under the COVID-19, it's happened frequently. So my answer was be patient. Was the answer, but I wanna change the situation from now. So that's the level 4 BIM I wanna target it on. So this Mark views the chart. I wanna add next stage, level 4. And then I define it start from 2025. So just 2 years later, it will start. And then why I wanna set this kind of milestone is that it's very time consuming, the changing or migrating the very large scale system to the enterprise-wise. So if you are the very single and self-employed person, just making BIM or consultant, it's okay. But if you are the member of the very large scale construction company or some consulting company, the situation is very different. So we need very quick response is the next stage. And then this is the answer, what I wanna propose today. So from IBIM, it's in level 3. And the level 4, I wanna propose here, the openBIM ecosystem. And then it will, under the harmony of 3 things. One is data schema, and the second one is API and code. And the last thing I want to emphasize today is cloud computing. So all those three triangle will be optimized someday after 2025. And then you can go into level 4 BIM. So we only have 2.5 years. So please start from today. And it takes a very time. And then the technology runs very fast. So I can't understand any of those cloud computing. So start from these books. So firstly, I guess you know IFC. So data schema, about data schema, it's okay. And then you are BSI member. So you come here and learn the IFC, what it is. So you are the expert. So next one, second book, Code and API. I guess you are getting knowledge, familiar with this area, because the OpenCD API is quite famous and in, so that you know what it is, and then CD should have that kind of API and connect to IoT, and then the facility management, FM, BIM, FM, like that kind of things you hear here in BSI Summit. But it's very big question. No one said about this kind of cloud computing here in the BSI. So yeah, of course they are facing, but no one says it's important and how to migrate at a very large scale. So I need network engineering, knowledge, and optimizing API, IFC is a very big issue. So if you have the good information or have good friend, you start to work together from now. So now I want to explain one by one. And then this title, I made a mistake. So the next slide, I made a mistake, but okay, let's go to the next one. So firstly, I want to talk about the data schema, IFC. And then it's from the strategic roadmap that issued on 2023, early this year by the Clive Billiard. And then it says there's the timeline. And I lined this dashed red line on 2025. So from 2025, under my theory, it will be level 4 BIM. So what's happened is like this. Here, interface standards API. So it means OpenCD API, the version is released in this year. And then later, I can show you what's the version it's released. And then underneath, there's the data schema. So those things created, and then API comes. And the next one, in the level 4 BIM, next generation data standard. So something happened in 2025 is the Clive's prediction here. So go next. This one also from the strategic roadmap. And then there's the milestone. And for each technology, there's the version. And as I explained, here API 2024, the 2.2, it means the OpenCD API 2.2 will released. And then the API 3 will release around there. So it's very big change here before and after 2020. Another thing, let's check the validation checker. So the version 1 released, and yesterday, the room has a session, workshop, and the BSDD is very old one, but add some version. And IDS is new one, but upgrade version like this. And of course, not only technical side, those to some education, the BSI are thinking. So their strategy is much more holistic. And my strategy is much more focused on the site management and then the total BIM IT environment. So that's a bit difference. And this third one is what's adoption rate will be. Also from strategic roadmap. And then from 2025, this angle is getting high, steep. I guess so. And then the first one is the consistent data communication. It means my understanding is the file-based, the federation, BIM federation, is consistently done in the construction sites. And then from 2025, automated connectivity between applications. So it means it's related to the OpenCD API, and then automatically connects each data of CDE, the interoperability. And the next, here comes the ecosystem, the buzzword here, with a seamless integrated decision support. So yeah, it will come, the last here, 3, but maybe the 2 goes through here. We need some kind of the new cloud computing for the platform. So yeah, my mistake is this one. Here comes a code API and not data schema. So from here, I want to talk about the code and API using this book. So here is the BIM maturity level 3 and CDE. Do you know this chart? Have you ever seen this one? No. Oh, gee. Yeah, I love the chart. And this one also proposed by Mark View, the famous British consultant. And I met in UK summit. But anyhow, his model is very smart enough. And then he defined this kind of things. Document should be defined the 3 status. One is the work in progress, which the shorten and then set the WIP. And then the shared and published. And then this chart shows us how it works, the middle scale the construction site is. Here comes the design team, and then construction team, and then operate team. And each team has some kind of the project information management system, some kind of the file server or repository. And then they work every day. So the work in progress data is stored in the BIM area. And then after finishing their work, they will submit some shared area. So the AIM here, but the asset information model, it says, but it's like a common CDE. So project member of the role they use commonly. So that's the shared status all document here is. And then lastly, published. So all those data are merged or federated or shared. And then later on, some kind of the accreditation, authentication under the authority, and then it will published. So 3 status, And then he put this kind of CDE, so local CDE, and then commonly used CDE, and client-side CDE. So it's very clearly define the status of the CDE used in the construction site. But views, mark views, the chart is based on file-based CDE. Yeah, that's the problem. And then we should go into much more deeper side. So here's the number, as you know. And then if you see some activity proposal of OpenCD API, there's the timeline. And then the OpenCD API are defined like this. Firstly, the 1.0 is created. And it's the common function authentication. And the next 1.0, it means that under this authentication function, the documents are handled under the CDE. So it's like a document cloud database. And the next 2.2 is for BCF. So if you put some IFC file on CDE, and then you can browse around it via a web browser and find some issue. You can add some issue message here, and then to send it by email or the exchange a BCF file to another platform. Is the definition and specification of 2.2. So what's next is, so the OpenCD API and then the function BCF and the documents is for level 2. It means the file-based CDE. And the level 3, it starts from 2020. And then it's now the data exchange. And then the particle of the data is not file, but the property or object level. So you can take the small particle of data and then calculate or some kind of thing you can do. And I guess that you can do now with the Power BI. Do you have any question? Yeah?
Regarding the Documents API,
Yes.
do you know whether the 1.0 plus version has already been finalized?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I don't. It's better. I don't answer to this question because I don't have that much not good information about it.
We'll look
Sorry.
it up later. Then.
Yeah. If you know, please let me know. Someone knows about the 1.0 and 1.1. It says the server to server is 1.0 plus. And then the user to server. So system to system, the connection. And then that standard is defined here. 1.0 plus is the answer here now. But anyhow, so I want to go forward. So next one is data exchange, and then it's under level 3. So what's level 3 is like this. So here's software, and you can upload files, and the OpenCDE has the APIs, so it can give the information to 4D, 5D, other systems, and then or 60, etc., like this. And the file also stored here, IFC file, documents, BCF data. And now, yeah. Sorry. So some of the functions are realized, like the 4D and 5D. And then, as you know, Excel consulting, they are very good system for the 4D, 5D. But the things that we face is not standardized. So it's Excel's technology. But if someone create the 4D, 5D system, and then pull out 4D, 5D IFC to put into Excel, it does not work. It's the problem. So it's on the way, so it's okay. But the next level 4, I think many variety of data should be handled. So the much more expansion like this, the point cloud, or movie or image for the, how can I say, metaverse data, or some XR data generation, or some AI generation, or right-hand side, non-RDB or data lake of IoT, etc. So not only a BIM property or object, but many variety of data will be connected to CDE is the next challenge of the level 4. So lastly, you can ignore data schema. So this one is for cloud computing. Final proposal. But here, I found the limitation of CDE here. And then I want to read this one. Data is packed in a black box. And the data transfer is only specified by API, the via openCDE API. The lower layer, such like the physical layer, data link layer, network layer, are not controlled by the user. And server resources, CPU, memory, hard disk, are not manageable by user. And connectivity to company's internal server resources is restricted. Cannot import CDE data directly to internal server. And not enough flexibility and security when conducting high confidential projects. So some nuclear power plant or that kind of the high confidential project, the owner does not want to use the CD, like that kind of things happen frequently. And the last one, no enough flexibility when utilizing BIM with the various external IoT data. So that's the limitation and the restriction, what I feel now for recent CDE. And then I write some kind of this physical layer, blah, blah, blah. It's from OSI, 7 layers model. It's a very old internet connection, a data model. And I guess you know this word, and it's defined by the ISO. And here's the 7 layers. And then the bottom, here's the physical layer. It's physically cabled, like the optical cable or physical metal cable like this. And then from bottom to upper side, the things are getting closer to user side. So the application layer and then the presentation layer are the layer which we are working with in normal work. And then the bottom, how to connect sessions, A system, B system, is IT person's things. So we need some help or some specialty to understand this kind of the lower layer. But the situation is like this. Some CDE, if you use, and you study about openCDE API, so you know very well about this area, foundation, BCF, I know, document and data exchange. But under those layer. Here's this kind of the physical layers. And then several years ago, we used on-premise server internally in our company. But now we are shifting to this kind of cloud computing. So that decision is very big. And then we are open-minded and not grasped by one specific company is our policy. So if I can select this cloud server is okay or not is very difficult question to answer. So we don't want to think about, and then only we think about this portion. But now the things happen like this. So if you access to the system and download or upload some point cloud to BIM, and then federate, and then check the differences, and it happens. The connection is very slow. You can't upload the point cloud of several gigabytes, and it does not work. So if it is the PC issue, you can add CPU or memory and hard disk. It's okay, but if it is on the cloud service, it's quite difficult, and then some specialty is needed. So we should think one by one like this. So the CD as SaaS, so software as a service, so we can only use a very surface of the system. But the PaaS platform as a service, we can dive into a bit deeper side. And then ERS, infrastructure as a service, we can make it from scratch. But it takes very knowledge of this technology, and also time to construct all those things for the company. So now another thing, many the internet or the large scale data handling, the solution emerged. One of these is ETL tools. ETL stands for this one, extract, and load, and the T. What stands for T? A transform. Yes. So the many data or CDEs that we can put what the system put some of the data here, and then creating some data for user and give it to some analytic data. This kind of thing is the system like this is ETL. So not directly the user attached to a database, but using the BI tool or so. But here's some repository, the storing, and then the accumulate data, and the user access via BI tool from here. So that's another solution. So this chart is what we construction domain that shows anytime from several years back. So I want to add this one. So firstly, the IFC start from building, and now the power or some many domain we have, and then the IFC is had many the file format like this, and now the CDE can connect all those data to web, and then it will connect to some other cloud system. Then we can use all those BIM data to Excel, VR, or some devices. Is the ecosystem now. But adding the cloud computing, so the internet and web connection like this, it should be optimized, is my proposal. So here, integrated First, you do a migration, and you count some of the response, and then you should optimize the system. Is the circle of this improvement. So here comes the conclusion. So I explained 3 of them, and then extend this chart, arc views chart here. And then we have the level 4. And then it starts from 2025, and the target is openBIM ecosystem. And optimize those 3 is today's conclusion. And then the next presenter is Konstantinos, and then his title is use cases. But I want to connect using this slide. So we should study all those 3. But all those progressing simultaneously in BIM level 4. So we don't have enough time for studying for every single technology. And then my thinking is, if you know some of the best practice of use cases, then you can moderately understand all those things. And then why the use case is good is we can see how much level of the skill, BIM management skill, the company has is visualized if you see this kind of use cases. Not only the single technology, but if you see this kind of the use case of the construction site, you can holistically understand BIM level of the company. So I'm gonna switch to Konstantinos, or if we have time, there's some question time. Yes.
Thank you for a very nice presentation.
Thank you.
And I just wonder, requirements,
Mm.
where do you have them? Are they in the design, or as we work in my platform environment, we have the requirements according to the PLCS standard separated from the design. So that these are objects by their own in a structure that links them to the proper parts of the design structure. But how do you manage them here in your diagram? You understand what I mean?
Oh,
You showed that you had design,
yes.
and then you had the PIM, and the top was sort of design, and the other was production, and then you had the aim. And then you merge them to the right in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wonder, the design, is that including the requirement structure? Because you need to separate the requirements from the design objects. You can't sort of, some people add a property set for requirements on the wall and then add the design properties on the same version of the wall and so on.
Oh, I see. So I half understand what you said, so I'm sorry, but anyhow, depends on the case, and then if you understand or have some good use cases, but it does not fit to your company some case. So that's
IDS is very simple requirements when you just on properties.
Oh,
but
I
if
see.
you have, as we work with the Swedish Defense Material Administration, you have a requirement to defend an airport. That's the requirement. And then you break down that into, need buildings, you need fence, you need weapon systems, and then you continue the design of these.
Oh, yeah.
buildings. So
Yeah.
we are not looking at that really.
I see. I think that it's about the data schema, and then it is property based. You can use IDS, and then it's so booming. But now if it is point cloud, the standard is not defined at this moment. So what we do is set the axis XYZ, and then the overlay to system like this. But we don't have that kind of standard. So it's manually done. So like that kind of thing should be optimized under this my proposed 3 triangle. So cloud and then API and schema should work together. So that's the answer to here from me. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
More questions?
Okay. If you enjoy, yeah, I'm very pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much. I enjoyed. Oh, do you want to hear?
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's continue. So I will focus on a single point to support what Ken presented. Ken presented very clearly that we move from sharing information, so there's level 2 of sharing models between each others, towards working integrated, and out of integrated making something perfect. So make the loop of redesign. And this means we have to work much more different and closer as we do now. And the question is, do we have already done the sufficient steps to do that, to change our business models towards working together and to get more connectivity? And this is a possibility. I will try to emphasize that use case management can deliver this component to us, which is to get coordinated work together on national and international standards and agreements. So my name is Konstantinos Kessoudis, and I'm also in the steering committee of the construction room, but also in rail domain and use case management. Maybe you have seen this presentation before on the rail domain, and this is, I think, something we have to discuss within all domains. And my base is construction companies, Slovak, it's Central Europe, and I am now for 22 years working on digitalization. I was the guy to define 5D once in the world, but anyhow, it's a little bit different spelled as I meant, but it's okay, so it's in the world. I will skip some slides because there is some overlapping. So this is what was explained, but let's start here. Oh, why use cases? Use cases is because of we have to work together to do something in common. So, and it gets more and more working together digital. So that's all about this digitalization. It's not being best in class software, best in class performer company. It's the team. Best in class IT system through different companies meets best in class team on construction side, and marvelously they work perfectly together because it's all digital, and then it gets better. So this is the idea. So the problem is we have seen it before. So this picture I've seen before. So sometimes the reality is somehow here, and this is what we want to do. So we want to communicate perfectly. Everybody understands us. We want at the end to have a perfect implementation, maybe a little bit better than this. And to understand us each other means we need a common understanding of shared processes in another way, in a more modern way than we do already. Because everybody we meet on a construction site or on a project, we do that. But we do that still on the old-fashioned way to make our understanding. And we can make this understanding digital faster. So let's go back to look on the case. So what we are talking about in detail, it's a use case. What is a use case? A use case, the definition of buildingSMART in 2019 is a process in which a project team develops BIMs of the existing conditions for a site, facilities, or facilities on site. So they work together through BIMs. Okay. In the ISO 29481, the use case is a starting point of an IDM, so information delivery manual. So it's about digitalization. So it's change something digital. And the last definition, it describes the expected results of a process in the phase of planning, building, managing, which is executed digitally. This means that's our contracts we have to do, as we have to build a construction site, as we have to build or a building, as we have to plan a building, but now it's defined and what we do digital in the contract. So it's the contract stuff. And for what is good for to know about, to exchange about use cases, hey, this is what I will do, this is what you will, this is what you asked for, this is what I will do, because the execution company will do that with their IT landscape, and these guys demanding something, they have their landscapes and they have to be connected. As we have seen before, yes, it's all about connection. And on constructions, and this is private, and this in between is common or share. This is somehow public, because now we meet in a space with different other companies, and well, we have to share our way how we work. And the problem is, wow, and this works how? It works somehow. I will point it out, but it's not perfectly. We have seen level 4. It works all automated. All automated means the computer understands us what we want, but even we don't understand each other as persons on a site. So how a computer will understand us then digital if we don't understand each other? But why it is like that? Because we don't have a common definition, structural language. What is this use case? So, okay, if we don't do the foundation, the technology will not help us. So the actual problem leads to an impact, and the impact is, by the moment, each participant defines his use cases by his own. So even in our company, we have defined 250 use cases, properly described. However, my colleagues started to describe it with thinking of their own structure. So how they expect that these can be connected to other people if they do that in our company? It was a good example. It was a good exercise for a company to discuss it in the company. But if it goes outside, they will meet other people describing things different. Still, we have this problem that we don't have a structure here inside. So if we have a client, so a client is expecting something on that level, and we are discussing on the side of execution, so that we have a different level. So there are no levels defined about what is the high expectation and what is the execution expectation. So the company systems are, in result, this company system and this company system are very difficult to connect because they are done individually on every project, writing AERs, BEPs, whatever, and then we discuss on every project and how we do that newly. My company is doing 16,000 projects per year. 16,000 times we describe it again with 600,000 different parties. Yeah, it's nice. Then you ask why we have this low efficiency rate in construction. Okay, so BIM on construction side becomes very difficult because even if there's on the planner side a lot of people involved, on construction side you have much more people involved and much more people to interact. So therefore, it's a problem for us. So the idea was how we can make this better. Okay, of course, if we have a common understanding about what is this in the middle on every project. So how we structure the projects. Even if in your companies, if you have project templates and you can apply them from project to project, you see that this works faster. And if the people, the same people with the same templates move from project to project, they are light years fast. So on light velocity, because they know each other, because it's knowing, they know what they expect, what they can expect from the other. They share, it's easier for them to cooperate. So therefore, if we have a structure here, so then we have a clear structure. What is the minimum structure? It's not about the maximum structure. It's about what is the minimum structure we can do on a project to achieve the needs of the client and to achieve the needs of the guys doing it. And if we do so we have to discuss about what is this process. And a process, of course, has an input, has an output. So this is coming out of an IT schema. So ID 0. So it's coming from that. Every process needs an input. Every process makes an output. And if the people know what's coming out here to connect their systems, so it makes it much more easier. And if it's known what you have to do here, so this digital service you can set up in your company to fill that out repeatedly, and the skills and roles are here. So what we have to do is not too much, but it's something no AI can do for us. We have to define the common definition about what we do here. We have to define the structure we want to work in. We have to define the language we talk to each other to understand each other. So it's nothing rocket science. So the impact would be, so the customer request breakdown to execution. So these guys can expect, if I ask something like that, although they do more steps, which I don't need to know, obviously, in depth, I will get what I asked for. It will be reproducible through different, it's a reproducible digital standard processes, standardized, connectable to company solution landscape. It's this one. So if you know what's input and output in this thing, every company here can work individually different, and nobody cares about how we do that. The people just care about if we do our job correct, yes or no. But nobody cares about how we do really. And our landscape can be connected. So this we call solutions. So for us, this will be a solution. And a process chain can be set up independently from the company size. It's not a size problem. It's a problem of connectivity. Either you are a small company, big company, it's always the same problem. You have to be connected, so it can be achieved. And this makes BIM on construction site easier. Sometimes I explain it to my company somehow like, imagine how ants are working, so they have pheromones. So they don't think. So if ants would think every time they have a problem, and then we start a discussion stuff at the planning sessions and the decision sessions, imagine how far the ants will have been in evolution. So they will be extinguished. So sometimes I explain like that to my company. Some people understand it. Some people say maybe the example is wrong. But if we have these pheromones, it will be easier to work together. So summary in context. So why we need to define use cases per market. So why it's not a company problem. As I told you, we have defined use cases, but nobody else understands us. And there's no need for the rest to understand us, to be honest. So in a fragmental industry, we are fragmented. A common agreement on contractual role, responsibility, and service of any participant is essential. So if we know the world where we are working, then we can act easier. So it is the base for plannings and contracts. And to be honest, through years, we have developed a set of definitions already, how information between the different participants is exchanged, but paper-based. So we do that already. So we have these agreements. So 2D plans are based on agreements, how the information is structured how it is displayed on a 2D plan and what does it mean. And if Ken in Japan is opening a plan in Japanese, so he will understand perfectly well, just looking with one eye on that, what does that mean? And in every market, we have these things already organized. And therefore, we can work together easily on this paper base. So if we do that also in digital, not per project, but per market, we have the base to work much more easier together. So it is a reliable standard for setting up a company and project organization and collaboration. It's the same thing as we have done. If we have trained people to draw 2D drawings in every market, we then have use cases digital and train our IT systems and our people to fulfill them. So in the digital collaboration, we do this definition now also. It's not only that we don't do that, but we do that on every single project newly by AERs, so the employer's information requirements and the so-called BEPS, or the BIM execution plans. If we do that every time newly, so how we can expect then that the different IT landscapes of the parts of projects are compatible from the beginning if we don't have set the framework before? What we do. So, and who should be these guys to define the use cases? So I think it's not about every single company, because imagine every single company is running their use cases without any language, any common language, and then publish it. So then really we have to produce thousands of use cases for nothing. Then will come the AI, analyze it, and then the AI will structure it. Then what the AI will do is they will do an ontology out of that. So if and the AI will set up this stuff. So we need common concepts. What is a use case? If we have that, so we need relationships to define relationships between use cases, and we need axioms and rules how these use cases work. We need attributes and properties to describe the characteristics and the determination of common definitions and sets. So this all together will define why and what for a digital system interacts to achieve a goal. It's not saying this is a column, it's saying this is the data you need to produce this column or to concrete this column. This is the data you need to plan the column. So we have that per process. On the other side, we have this marvelous thing, the SDD in buildingSMART, which delivers the building components, materials, systems, and attributes through all classification systems. So we have already something growing up to hold all this information we need to get the attributes and the definitions. So of course we need to link that. So the use case links the data and filters it. And this is something defined per market. It's not, and this is the other side of the slide. This defines the digital standards of trades, professions, and industry. It's not how you do that on a project. You apply that on a project, but it's not the service of buildingSMART, not the obligation of buildingSMART to do that for all projects in the world. But it would be helpful to have this framework. And now, if we have this machine-readable and actionable understanding of digital collaboration, it can be used through national feature servers or software to write this AER and BEPS automatically. So after that, we will not need them. So this is a step maybe we can skip in some years if we have the level 4. For software tools to configure program templates. So your Revit will be, through that process, be configured directly according to your company agreements and according to the project agreements, so you can use that easier and not having to do that by hand as we do that now. To configure CDEs automatically, so not to have to configure all the CDEs again and again and again and again. and of course to be easy easily to create ideas to define what information we are exchanging, or to exchange information via API. So here we have the digital collaboration on project, but the line is here. So this is what we're talking about. This is the effect afterwards. And I was wondering, who are these people to define that? So to my understanding, as it is, the challenge is about to define now our digital rules, how we work together in a market. It's not a single company, but it should be the professional associations, to my understanding, architects and engineers, construction companies, association of representative trades, industry associations, or some bigger market determining actors like a railway association, the infrastructure operators. They have, of course, this better position because they just are the market. But if I don't do that on that level, I will do that still as we do in the company. On every project, I discuss with another architect how we have to define the architecture model. And the architect is set up because he said, hey, last construction company had other ideas, what they need from us. So it's always this losing information. To do that, these guys, what they need is a need for a defined and functional use case management platform. Because if everybody of them starts to make their own use case management platform, define their own use cases, how these discussions between architects, engineers, different stakeholders will work. This is the great chance of buildingSMART, to my understanding, and this is a great service buildingSMART can do to the world, to facilitate them this platform so they can set up their use cases in a way they understand each other, and to create it, to publish it, and to discuss it. And if the link to BSD will be done, so what these are the processes, these are the attributes you need. The benefit for the people defining the attributes in the BSD, so the classification associations, they have the benefit to see, and where is my data used, for what I am responsible. So this is connecting the people, the responsible people for markets. These are responsible people for use case definitions. These are the responsible people for the classification information. And of course, this is again the red line. I should do that in red, because this is the part software industry can profit from that. Because as it is machine readable, and it should be machine readable, if you start now, we should not start not machine readable. So it can be imported, read by any software solution, and it can help to fulfill the processes with any software you have, with any combination in your landscape. So all these things will be still possible and should be possible, because we don't have to standardize the tools we are working. We have to standardize the way how we talk to each other. So in other words, we can also say, so this is an agreement on a digital recipe. So this is how a kitchen works. So there's a recipe book, and this is a recipe. And if the people know about the recipe, they can cook the recipe in every kitchen. The result is the same. So the person already owning the recipe knows what the people in the kitchen will do. Anyhow, doesn't matter what the kitchen looks like. In the end, it's something you were expecting to eat. So that's it. It's yes, a discussion, of course, because it's right there. Okay, it's a discussion. Please, we are just at the beginning, so it's just some thoughts. Thomas Gladley is here from Use Case Management. So we can go also deeper in that. So we started with use case management. It started in Switzerland, but I think it's something which should not only be kept in Switzerland. It's something international. And yes, a service that can really provide a lot of better study. Yeah, please. Thank you. Yeah, let's discuss. So, anybody has a question?
And just one quick question.
Yeah. We have to share the microphone.
Just one quick question. My name is George Wong from Hong Kong. About machine readable, what does it mean? Does it mean, because we now have NLP, right, natural language programming. So it is just text is okay, or anything, or need to be any sort of format, things like that?
Yeah, we have to make an ontology so that a computer can understand what we are meaning. So the terms should be defined, how we use that should be defined, so that it's easier to make algorithms out of that. So this is what it's meant.
So BSI has to set all those taxonomy or ontology for construction domain. Is that
no for the platform in the background? So the platform would understand what you write. So it's not about the people who have to use that. They just write their tool that helps the people to describe the use case in a structured way, that if you lay use case beside of use case, they are in the same structure, using words which are known what they mean. So that's it.
So it's basically more for the developer. Is that for the solution developer?
Yeah, it is. No, it's about for the use case management platform developer. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe. Is it working? Okay. Maybe another explanation. Use case management. The main result out of use case management is exchange information, so that you know what kind of information you exchange at a certain point of the project between different actors. And the format of the exchange requirement is an IDS, Information Delivery Specification, which is a machine interpretable format. So this is basically why everything should be connected. So the BSDD together with the use case management, so that if you define exchange requirement in the use case management, you use the BSDD to create that, and then by the end you export an IDS for that.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And these use cases, we talk about ecosystems here. That means that you have to involve a number of different actors in their systems, sort of. Isn't that the ecosystem that you have in the society? You collaborate with authorities, and they are more or less stable over time, but we talk about systems of systems, and everyone in Sweden talk about ecosystems. So can you sort of take these use cases and sort of divide them into the parts for any of your 100,000 subcontractors or partners to just jack in and then use the openBIM, these common data environments?
Yeah, it's the idea is not to define the ecosystems, because the ecosystems don't play any role in that. Let's give you an example. So, at the moment in the European construction industry, we're just doing some workshops on use cases, and one of the workshop is to dive deep into defining a use case which should work not only in Europe but also worldwide. It's about the use case will be model-based estimate of formwork on a construction site. So this is something happening in every construction site where you have concrete, you have to use formwork, and then you're asking the formwork company to make you an offer what the formwork will cost, and maybe to consult you to do the formwork solution better. So by the moment, every construction company is sending a data set to the different formwork companies. And the problem the formwork companies face is that every construction company gives them different information. So different structures, different usage of attributes, different meanings. If we as construction companies started to send it to different formwork companies, we have to discuss with every one of them what we mean, and then analyze what they send us back in digital. Imagine that we will find a solution to define that, let's say in IFC. What is the data and formwork companies expecting to make an offer digital? And imagine that they will give us back the answer, which is also defined what is the information content. So then we can set up our IoT landscape in Strabag, Kajima theirs, or BAM theirs, to understand the information that's just come. We are standardizing. We try to standardize the information exchange between the processes and to define what is this a process which is coming or which we have more often? Is this a process which is European? Is it national? Is it regional? But then we can find the minimum of needed use cases, recipes. It's like a recipe book, and then you can cook. So how many recipes you need to make a structure like that? The problem is in the construction industry, in my company, we always said, oh, we have 16,000 projects. All the 16,000 projects are different, totally different. So yes, and 60,000 times we do a drywall, and you will explain me that these drywalls are always done totally different? No. The recipe of doing a drywall is the same. The recipe of doing a construction, a concrete structure, is worldwide the same. Maybe 2 or 3 or 4. Let's see. Let's see how many recipes we do. But to check out how many recipes we need to define what is a structure, so we need a platform where we can share them.
Yeah, maybe to add something, you said it yesterday quite clearly. You have a recipe, and if you cook this recipe, then maybe you add some ingredients more or less. So, but by the end, the meal should be the same. So you cook a pizza or I don't know what. So it's a pizza, but how the taste of the pizza is, this is maybe the difference. So a use case is a generic recipe how you should do it. But of course, you will add some stuff to it. You will extend it. You will reduce it a little bit. This is why the use case is just a foundation, but it's not used as a project, because in the project you have to put it in your systems, in your CD, in your product information management, and adapt it slightly. So this is why we generate generic use cases, and therefore it's important that we do that together with associations and a lot of companies together to find a common agreement.
One question. How do you know or how do you control that you don't end up with too many recipes?
Do we know that?
Yeah, this is a very good question. I think an important aspect of the use case management is it's a global service. So you have all chapters can add some use cases. The domains should upload the use cases, and of course the associations. And if we see now that we have similar use cases in different countries, for example, geospatial information, things like that, we have already in the platform from different countries similar use cases. Then you can say, hey, it would make sense to make a global use case out of it, because if everybody kind of the similar things. It would be good to bring it here in a domain. For that, we have the domains, actually, and then you find a common agreement and say, okay, this is kind of a pre-standard for a use case.
And I have a dream. So sorry, Thomas, but I have one. So if you start to write a use case, it should work like that. If you start to write a use case, and even in the title, I would like to use subject, predicate, object, so the computer can check, or even if in the background, so therefore the machine readable. If you start to type something and you have the AI working on, what will the AI do? So it comes up, it pops up and says, hey, you tried to write something like that? Have you seen that? Yeah, something like that. So I think it should be a democratic process about if the people are all are on one platform and the platform has enough functionality to filter, to support, it will come to a minimum for itself. If there are use cases used more or rated better rather than others, so there will be we will come to a minimum. And then we have taken out as much complexity as possible from this digital collaboration stuff. And we have the needed use cases so we can build in different configurations, different buildings. So this is the game.
Yeah, does it work? I feel that currently in our fragmented system, our business models are a blocker for this because we all work in our fragmented part and that's our whole world. Did you think about incentives to collaborate with such a system and create recipes, share recipes as I want the people to come to my restaurant?
Okay, so I tell you from my company, I'm 22 years doing that, and the white hair is coming from that, but otherwise I would have black. When I started to do digitalization, the company, I analyzed and I thought, okay, the best thing in a construction company is to start with this digitalization phase when it comes to make an offer. So I said, okay, I will do a solution for them which digitally is easier, faster, more efficient than what they do now by Excel and by hand and drawing papers. And then I thought, hey, we are one company where we're standard. Okay, then I started and asked the first guys of the departments how they do a tender. And then I recognized then in different countries, although we are one company, we have different ways of working, although we have one company standard. And not also in one country, even every city. In Germany, we are different. Even in one city, from room to room, they were different. So then I started to say, okay, and all these guys said, I am totally different to these other guys. And my processes are like that. I can't live without that. So, okay, I will do that. So we have 3,000 possibilities to make an offer. Okay, I will go to the management board. I will ask them for money to make 3,000 solutions. And I will come with the answer. So maybe not. So, okay, what does it mean, what you say? So if we agree that you and you work somehow the same, you can use one tool, which was cheaper. Okay, so let's think about it. But this needs years. That's still ongoing. Like that. I don't think so. It's somehow like if you ask, it's a bad example, the ant example. If you ask every single ant, the ant will say, oh, I'm doing totally different things all the day. I'm very special. Yeah, but there is something coming. I think there is something coming. But I don't know where it is. Yeah.
One way we like to do that is to engage with the associations, I think, because the association should do it for their members, and their members should say, hey, you have to do it for being more efficient, to reduce errors and so on. It will really help the whole community if they do that together. And these are not use cases which endangers your innovation, for example. So you of course you have to protect your innovations and so on. But I would say most of the use cases are quite common, agreed what to do. So there are no secrets behind it, and therefore associations should really have a big stake in that and do this one. And we will focus really on that one.
Yeah. You first.
Does the use cases contain any experience from the collect any experience from the projects?
Experience, yes,
Yeah.
of course, they should
Yes.
contain.
Yeah.
Not only the experience of the projects, it should, because they should be practical, because otherwise they will never be used. But also the company experience, how to do it.
If I hear you talk about it like this, is the use case a first step towards the standard? Could
Yes,
I
it's an
see it
industry
like that?
standard, yes.
Okay.
It's an industry agreement.
So then it will not be 1,000 use cases. It will
No, hopefully
ultimately
not.
go
No,
down
hopefully
into
not.
a number.
Look how many different plan views we have defined per country. It's not endless. It's not endless. How many brick formats we have agreed, so we can build anyhow any brick we do. So we have agreed on some standards already. So it shouldn't be so difficult.
I think that this work should be incorporated with other stuff like the business, how the business operates and how the project operates as well, because
Yes.
and should be put together with that, because this
Yeah.
will of course improve the projects, but not if the companies don't do the effort to make it. And how many cases there are, it depends on how you define them, because you can define them as you said, you should make a pizza, that's bottom and the filling, but you could also make more information into it. And I think also, on a side note, that a lot of countries would like to be special in some kind of way. So maybe you could just build on in the different.
Yes.
Yeah, but basically they are the same.
Yes, there's Italian kitchen, there is Norwegian kitchen, so there's Asian. But I think the challenge, we are challenging our associations to the max, because first of all, we have to approach the associations, not only as buildingSMART, but also all you, as you are maybe also members of your associations, to raise a question, because associations have to change, because they have to accept the challenge. I have to define the digital framework of the people I'm representing, which they don't do up to now. And this means they have to make an effort. It's not coming from itself. You have to do something. It means money.
I have a question. I must confess that I haven't looked into the use case management system really. But the management thing there about contracting and the activities, are they included there? I mean, I worked with some European projects 15 years ago, Vivace, Airbus, etc., and collaboration hubs, and then they were accepted, contracted, and got access to these models. And then there was engineering change management and change proposal, and then you had to download it and the process to accept it. All these things, are they looked at into?
Yes, they will be.
Sort of implemented in the.
Yes, they will be. They will be part of the future contracts. So by the moment we do contracts, if we do BIM projects, we do contracts where the BIM model is the first source of truth set up. So the BEP, so the BIM execution plan, is defined as contractual document. The ERs are defined as contractual document. And if it's a full BIM project, or if BIM is in the foreground, so then this is shift to the top, and it's going down. So imagine now that this will somehow, like the standard contract templates we have from our associations, there will be the standard, in these standards will be now these definitions of the use cases. So agreed are these use cases. Yeah. But I think we are on a starting point, so I don't want to disappoint Ken because of the 2025, but we are struggling. Yeah, we are struggling because we are moving now from this level 2 to the level 3, and I think we will not be able to reach there where he wants to reach if we don't do this this major point of use cases, because that is a total chaos if we don't set somehow a little bit in order to that. And we are in the start, but we have to run because 2025 is coming, and yeah, he's a very strict boss. So 2025, we have to report.
Well, I have a last question or comment, Konstantinos. So can I say that the implementation of use cases is trying to increase the efficiency of the construction, that we've seen at the beginning of the conference? Okay, we know already that is inefficient. We're in the last place, so that will break these inefficiencies. But that's the whole idea of that.
It's a practical approach to get the efficiency, not talking about doing it. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. No more questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And yes, we are all on LinkedIn, so you can chat us. So.